This is the world-famous 99X. We are the Morning X. It's Barnes and Leslie. And the numbers have been increasing when you look at school shootings. Since 2000, a pretty noticeable increase, but it was COVID that seemed to have really spiked it. And the shift to remote learning in 2020 may have temporarily interrupted that trend, but it just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Exponentially. It's tragic.
It's so tragic and sad, and such a helpless group being attacked by, different types of attackers even. But I want to introduce you to the CEO of a company called Campus Guardian Angel. His name is Justin Marston. They have a very cool program they are getting ready to launch, I know, in a few systems. So good morning, Justin.
Good morning.
I think what you're doing is fascinating. Let me try to sum it up for the dumb guy way, and then you fill in the blanks. Basically, a school signs up with you. They have a case with drones in it. If there's a shooting, drones are kicked out of that box. You have pilots at your place in Austin that steer these drones. They go after the attacker, work with law enforcement to both attack him and bring him down. Is that right?
Yeah, I think you got it. Yeah, that's we have multiple boxes of drones, just like you're in a sprinkler system. You'd have multiple sprinkler heads throughout the school. We put multiple so that we can get there fast enough. So I think, a couple of things a lot of folks don't know. First thing would be most of the shooting in a mass shooting, like a school shooting, happens in the first 120 seconds. So anything that's not there already is not really going to have that much of an impact. And because of that, the majority of mass shootings, the shooting is already over by the time law enforcement arrives on the scene.
Right.
And so that's why for us, having multiple of these things throughout the building, our goal is we respond in 5 seconds, we're on the shooter in 15 seconds, and then we degrade or incapacitate in 60 seconds. So we get there before law enforcement and we keep the shooter distracted, we start degrading them, and then once law enforcement arrives, whether that's a single SRO, the first person at the school, or law enforcement as a team, our job is to kind of hyper-enable them so that they have to take less risk and they're set up for success.
So you actually did a demonstration at one of the schools in Florida. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we actually have done 5 demonstrations now in Florida schools, and different places, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, in the Tampa and Orlando kind of areas, and then up near Tallahassee. And so in all of them, we take the drones out, we have various exercises we do. So like we will look for a shooter, a threat actor by ourselves. We'll then partner with law enforcement to do it. And then we kind of demonstrate how fast and maneuverable these drones are. And then we show the different effects we can have against a dummy that we call Silent Bob. He's like a boxing dummy we got from Academy Sports.
Break that down just a little bit, because when you talk about you can deploy these in 5 seconds. So take me through that.
Yeah.
So you're in a school, and does someone hit a button? How do they alert that there's they do? So there's a button.
Yeah, so we have we have an app which has a button in it which they can press, and then we can video chat with whoever pressed it. But a lot of these schools already have technologies that are doing alerting. There's a bunch of alerting companies, and after Parkland, there was a law called the Alyssa Law, which got passed in Parkland and has since been passed in around 8 states, with another 8 looking at it. And that mandates that every teacher has to have a silent panic button.
Okay.
So that they can press that button if there's a shooter in school. So in Texas, in Florida, in other states, every teacher has a button. The problem is, they press it. Maybe that shaves off a few seconds of calling 911. But if you're waiting on law enforcement to arrive, you're still looking at, 3 to 8 minutes,
a lot of time,
where it is. And so like our view is that there's a lot of technology out there designed for notifying, law enforcement early, a few seconds earlier. What's missing is kind of a technology-enabled response. That's right. Like you see it, but what do you do?
Okay, so they hit the button. You have pilots standing by in another city, in Austin, and these pilots, so they're just hanging out waiting for an emergency, and then they put their goggles on and how do they know where to fly in the school? Like, is it a GPS signal coming from the distress, or what is it? How does all of that happen?
Yeah, so we have we do a digital scan, we turn each school into a kind of a video game, and then we create this Mission Impossible view of everything that's happening in it in real time. So we have location technology using beacons, which is similar to GPS but works indoors.
Right. Yep.
And then we tap into all the security cameras so we can see all of those layered over the video game. So imagine Fortnite Schools Edition, we kind of have that view of the school. So we actually have a better idea, being 1,000 miles away. We have a better idea of what's happening in the school in real time than somebody in the school, because we can see the whole thing. We have the Mission Impossible view.
Wow, that is so impressive.
We're talking to Justin Marston, CEO of Campus Guardian Angel. So the drones fire these powder pellets, that could potentially knock down the suspect. What if the suspect just shoots down the drone?
Yeah, so actually one of the favorite things that we do in our live demos is we have a paintball kind of rifle that we give to people in law enforcement, and we then fly the drone around in front of them and invite them to try and shoot at it with baby powder rounds. And it is it's like trying to shoot a mosquito. So there's 3 of them coming at you. In our first demonstration back in last year, we had 3 tier 1 soft guys as our threat actors, and all 3 of them said that they would get overwhelmed. They didn't think that they could be successful, and they're obviously incredibly good shots. And then we spoke to Ukrainian Special Forces, and that was really the inspiration for the company. Was we spoke to them, and they said, in 600 missions, the drone only got shot down once, and they could see the bullets flying past it in the camera. But it's just so incredibly difficult to shoot. They pretty much, even when the guy knew it was coming, or there was a squad of guys, unless you have a mounted machine gun nest, which nobody's taken with them into a school shooting, it's not possible. And again, if a drone gets shot, we don't care. We're fine with drones getting shot, because they're just lumps of plastic. We'd much rather have a drone get shot than a police officer or an armed teacher get shot. And so, we'll just keep sending them in waves of 3 until the guy either surrenders or is incapacitated.
It's really cool to watch. If you can't visualize what he's talking about, imagine a file cabinet with 3 drones just sitting there. Guys hundreds of miles away kick these things into gear. They fly with that, overhead view to where this guy is, or girl, whoever's shooting. And then not only is it you're firing whatever those pellets are at it, but then you have one that actually charges the person, right? How is that little drone able to put so much power to knock an adult over? It looks like what would be the equivalent to the little Mavic drones. That's a small drone.
Yeah.
How does that knock someone over?
Well, that's the beauty of physics. If you weigh a little bit, but you're going real fast, you can still, it's like getting hit by a baseball bat. So we don't start with that unless we see, the person who's the threat actively shooting rounds at people. We start typically with some kind of siren or a firecracker, and then we can talk through the drone and tell them to drop their weapon and surrender. If they're still, if they still look like they mean to kill people, then we cover them in the little powder pellets, and those are full of pepper spray. So our goal there is making it hard for them to see.
This is brilliant.
We want to make it hard for them to see, hard for them to breathe, and we're going to tell them to surrender again. And if they still don't surrender, that's when we start, doing kinetic energy hits. And you get hit by a couple of those. They're less lethal, but they're very effective.
YouTube personality Benny Johnson has cracked the code on a new era of newsmaking.
Very controversial, very strong opinions. A person who speaks truth fearlessly, breaking for nobody.
It's a new cultural landscape.
We're not trying to politicize this. People are primed now, and forgive me, dude, it is what it is. Here's what's going on in your country, bro.
The Benny Show.
Get ready if this is something that you needed to put a little pep in your step. No? Yeah? Okay.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Welcome to NFL Flag.
Are you ready? Yeah! Are you ready? Yeah!
No matter who you are, lace up your cleats, smear on your eye black, step out on the field and chase something. Chase a goal.
Let's get it!
Chase the big time.
Get that, ladies!
Chase rings. Chase gold medals. Chase all of it. It's all up for grabs now. NFL Flag. Chase something. Visit NFLflag.com to find a league and start the chase today.
What happens in a situation, though, where the perpetrator, like, let's say they're barricading some hostages or whatever, and the door's closed?
Yeah.
What happens then?
There's a couple of things. I mean, first one is that we can come through the windows. So we have a punch on the front. You can see it in some of our videos, but we can actually get through a double pane of glass and a blind.
Wow.
So we just assault through the windows and then go after the person. And then the second thing is that, we team with law enforcement. So if they shut the door, then they open the door and we're like a whole bunch of entirely disposable police dogs.
Yeah.
Just let us get in there. We'll go figure out who the bad guy is. We'll keep him distracted. We'll degrade him a bit, and we'll make it far easier for police. Like 1 in 3 real school shootings, according to Texas Alert, a police officer gets shot, and we want to take that to 0 because we don't think any of our law enforcement officers should have to risk their lives unnecessarily in a Mexican standoff when we can give them, all of this advantage to be successful.
Wow.
We have 4 of the top 10 drone racing pilots in the nation in our team. So and they've all raced on ESPN. So what they're able to do with a drone,
it's amazing,
is different than what anybody else can do with a drone. It's like a Formula One driver versus an Uber driver, right? So
impressive.
So that's really when we demo this at sites, it's like we invented electricity. I mean, we see police officers' jaws drop. Like you have 100 questions coming in. But when you see it, and we'd love to do that in Atlanta. We met Atlanta Public Schools briefly at a conference in Atlanta a few months ago. We're starting to talk to the legislative side there in Atlanta now, but we'd love to come show it because when you see it, it really makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah. So Google it because there's a video out there you can see, but also who's going to be the first school to have it? Do you have one yet?
Yeah, Florida Governor DeSantis approved a line item for us for pilots in 3 public school districts in Florida. So probably Florida is some, and then we have several schools in Texas as well that want to do it. We've seen private schools moving a little faster because they can, they don't have to go through a budgetary process. But I expect we'll be in both public and private schools in at least 2 states before the end of the year.
Wow, anything that could help. This is amazing.
This will save lives. Thanks for sharing with us. Justin Marston, CEO of Campus Guardian Angel. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
This is 99X.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
Why? Because you're not playing me.
With rapid-fire takes.
Y'all went from the Super Bowl straight to the toilet bowl. He's not over the NFL. The NFL is over him.
Scorching debates.
All the good, all the bad, all the ups, all the downs.
He's the Spitfire of sports smack.
Sorry for what I said because it was appropriate when I said it, but I can't say it anymore, dude. You are killing the game.
The Jim Rome Show podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.